Okay, so if you want to continue, we're going to work down into some floor-based poses. So you could just kind of get down there if you wanted to and be there waiting, or you can work through our transition to come down, which is quite nice for the legs. And even if you just did this as a little routine in the morning. So coming into a forward fold, we're going to inhale, lengthen up, and then we're exhaling, pushing the bottom back, bending the knees. So we've got the feet underneath the ankles, just like we started in Tadasana. So we're coming down onto bent knees, bring your tummy down here, bend as much as you need to. And then we're just inhaling, lifting up into a flat back. So we're lifting the chest here, rather than lifting the thoracic, the rib cage. So really push the bottom back as you inhale. Exhale, down onto the knees again. So working with your breath. Take the gaze forwards, it'll help lift the chest, draw the shoulders back as you inhale. Softening down. As I said, you can do this as a little routine yourself, just could be your morning routine, just some forward folds. Really helps stretch the back of the legs, helps the back, strengthens the spine as well. So you could continue with that for a few more rounds, or we're going to press, bend on the exhale, bend the knees, bring the tummy down, press the hands into the floor, and step back into down dog. So you want to step back quite generously here, but we're really, don't worry about straightening the legs, we're pushing the weight back into the feet here. So, like I've said on some of my other videos and say in my classes, it's not about having the weight over the hands. Shouldn't feel it too much in the hands. Really press away. And then we're going to start to bring a little bit of movement in here. A bit of a wardrobe malfunction going on. So, pressing one heel down and then the other. So we're feeling some nice kind of release in the back of the legs. Keep pressing the hands away, nice long spine. And if you find this pose particularly difficult, just being aware this is a really strong pose. It's working a lot of the body. It's hard work for the hands, the arms, spine, and the legs. So bringing the knees down when you need to. Or you could come into a little bit of stillness here, holding the pose. For a few breaths. Allow the breath to be nice and smooth. And then bringing the knees down then. And you can take a rest now, taking the weight back into child. Either taking the arms down the side or reaching forwards into extended child. See what feels good here. So you could rest as long as you need to there. Pause the video and have as much rest as you need. Or we're going to come up into cat for a couple of rounds before we move on to our next pose. So inhale with cat, we want the hands underneath the shoulders, so that nice in line, nice strong joints, knees underneath the hips and kind of like hip width distance, so like two kind of fists, kind of gap between the knees. And the feet, rather than being tucked under, untucked, allow them to be nice and loose here. And if you have problems, some men particularly find it hard to kind of flatten the feet here, because they don't wear heels like us ladies. So you can place a blanket underneath the, I'll show you actually. You can place a blanket underneath the shins, just to allow that gap in the feet there, you know, just to make it more comfortable. So taking the options that are good for you, and you can pad the knees here as well, if you have knee problems or your knees are a bit sensitive, unless you're doing it on a carpet at home, perhaps with a mat. So we're going to work with the breath. So just notice where your breath is at once again. Settling the attention there. And we're going to start to, as you inhale, taking the gaze forwards, lifting the chin, lifting the tail here, and dropping the spine, rocking the belly. And then as you exhale, we're drawing the belly in, bringing the chin under, and sending the ribs skyward, pressing into the hands. So just take this time now to work at your breath pace. And again, if you would do this practice regularly, just notice the flexion and extension in your spine. Because as you practice this regularly, you'll notice the difference. The spine is meant to move. Just don't do a lot of it. Really focus on where you'll notice the sensation most. It'll be different places for each of us. And if the wrists feel tired here, this is again weight loading. It's really good for the wrists, but if you feel tired, you can always sit back, rest, roll the wrists, whatever you need to. Or just pressing into fingers, actual into the fingers, engaging the fingers, or the phalanges, as they're known. Really helps engage the forearms. So do as many cat-cows as feels good for you. And then we're going to come down. I'm going to show you, we're going to come into some supine poses, some floor-based poses. So we're going to come down into Cobra. You can place a blanket underneath the pelvis if you've got kind of like, it's quite bony, you know, it just doesn't feel good. You can put a blanket there to feel much more comfortable. And then we're going to come into Cobra now, so placing the hands next to the chest, and elbows are kind of up like a grasshopper, tucked in nice and tight. And we're going to lift the chest, but we want to really lift with the lower back here, so we're not pressing into the hands. It's not kind of a push up, you know, the arms working. The hands are there as a support. So when you next inhale, we're keeping the gaze down. And then exhaling back down. We're lifting on the inhale. And then slowly exhaling down. So just being aware to use the back. Use the lower back here, rather than pressing through the hands. And keeping the gaze low like this kind of avoids the throwing the head back and using feeling that range more, because you're taking the gaze back. It's hard to talk enough and do it. And keep the legs together as much as you can. Just think Cobra, nice long tail. Resting when you need to. You can come into crocodile, just taking some rest. I'm just doing a couple more. And the more you do this, the more lift you'll get. Stronger the spine will get. So then you can take rest here in crocodile. And also if you felt it in your lower back, you can take the legs side to side, windscreen wipe the legs to release any tension. Obviously if you're really kind of, it's nagging, you can come back into child, a little bit of flexion in the spine, natural flexion in child's pose, will also release any tension that kind of builds up. So we're going to come into a diagonal lift now. So from our supine pose here, we're going to take one arm forwards, keeping the other one down, one arm forwards, and then we're going to be reaching through the opposite leg. So think diagonal. We're just going to lift again with the breath, lifting and lowering. So Inhaling up, reaching through, left hand, right foot, and slowly lowering down. Really focus on what's lifting here, what's peeling up off your mat. Try to resist kind of pressing through the left foot and the right arm. Allow the spine, the legs, the chest to lift. Nobody's watching, so you don't need to be doing it a certain way. Allow your body to work, allow your body to lead you. Resting when you need to. And then taking a rest here. Allow the feedback that the body gives you in between the poses. And when I say that, I mean like listen to what the body's saying. Don't listen to the mind saying, oh, I was doing that, I was doing this. Think and feel what the body is telling you, what the sensations are. So move into the other side. When you're ready, you can rest as much as you need to. And then seeing how you are on this side. So inhaling, lifting, exhaling, lowering back down. Again, working with the breath pace. Notice how it is on this side, whether it's different. Doesn't matter if it is, we're not symmetrical. Just being aware of your body. Let me just do one more on this side. And then taking that rest then as long as you need to. So we're going to come into another lift now to finish off. So if that was enough for you and you think, well, you can just come into relaxation, you can just rest. You can stay with Cobra if that's, if the next pose is not suitable for you. Or we're going to come into Locust pose. So zipping the legs up like a Cobra tail again, one long tail. And if you don't feel comfortable taking the arms behind and gripping the hands, you can take them out to the side, think kind of Iron Man. We're going to lift with the breath again. So if you're taking the hands behind, inhaling, lifting the chest, reaching the arms behind, and exhaling, slowly lowering back down. Take resting breaths in between if you need to. And I would do between kind of 5 and 10 rounds here. You can do as many of them as feels good for you. And you can also keep it dynamic, or if you're happy to, you can take a hold in for a few breaths. And if you're holding, we're holding the pose, not the breath. To allow the breath to be smooth. Two more breaths. And shaking is fine, it's the muscles stabilizing. perfectly normal. So you can come down to rest now, and then just listen to what the body needs next. Either resting into crocodile, or maybe pushing back, coming into child's pose. So just you resting breath in your pose. And then if you want to, we are going to also have a relaxation available. So I hope you can join me for that. Thank you.